Today I'm going to make some French onion soup. So right now I'm just going to start caramelizing some onions. To do that, we're just going to melt some butter. I'm looking for my tongs. I can't find my tongs. Oh, over here. Like my cast iron. Quality control. So what you want to do, you just want to saute these onions so they look golden brown. It's not difficult to do. They will cook down. It does take a while. I'm not going to bore you, so off goes the camera. So my onions are caramelizing very nicely. It's taken a while yet. I like my cast iron pan. That does a really good job on caramelizing the onions. Love the smell of onions cooking. The heat's relatively high. It's on number 8 on my stove. All stoves are different depending on what kind of pan you're cooking in. Cast iron runs hot. Just saute your onions until they're a nice golden color. I'm going to be canning these, so I really don't want to overcook them, but I do want to have them to have some color. They're going in beef broth anyway, so they're going to get colored. And the processing time is, I believe it's 60 minutes. I have to recheck that. So when you're canning any type of food, it does cook as it's in the canner. So you have to account for when you are making like French onion soup, not to overcook your onions too much, because they'll get mushier. Sure, it's not going to affect the flavor of the soup anymore, but if you want that nice stringy onion in your soup, I haven't canned French onion soup yet, but I'm going to do it, and I'm going to show you, because canning's easy. It's not hard as long as you follow the directions in the books, follow the processing time. I don't remember anybody in my family when I was growing up who canned. Memory's not that good anymore either. But I'm a canner. I like doing it. I like cooking. So why not combine the two? Hey, back in the pool. So I'm going to finish off the rest of my onions. These are almost done. And I'll just put these in a bowl just to cool down a little bit before I put them in my jars. And I still got to wash some jars too. See you in a while. So this is the second batch of my onions. Don't they just look beautiful? The color on the second batch of onions in a cast iron pan are always more darker. They look really good. Like I said, I'm not cooking these all the way through. I'm just cooking them so they're like al dente. I can't even say that word. To cook them to al dente. Al dente. Al dente. There we go. Cook these till they're like al dente, like pasta. Because like I said, I'm going to cook this, not cook it, I'm going to pressure can it in the canner to preserve it. Also, as I was sitting down, like I said, I haven't done this before in the canner, French onion soup. So I was thinking, I'm sure the headspace is supposed to be at 1 inch, at the 1 inch line. I might go 1.5 inches from the top. Only because what I'm thinking is, I'm putting these in wide mouth pint jars. And for a single serving, you can just get a baguette that fits the wide mouth jars. Even the regular size jars. You just get a baguette that's the same, you know, as long as it fits in the hole. You put it on top of that and put your slab of cheese on it and then throw it in the broiler to heat up. It might work. I'm going to give it a try, although you might have to microwave it first just to heat up the soup, because the soup won't be all the way heat through. We'll see. We'll see what I'm going to do. I don't know yet. We're going to try it though. Alright, so I'm going to start putting my onions in my jars. I have my jars heating up in my pressure cooker. So we're going to do a couple at a time anyway. I'm just going to eyeball how much onions I'm going to put in. What do you think? Good? Half cup, cup, quarter of the way up. Looks good. Let's grab another jar. Boy, I hope you don't hear my cat snoring in the background there. You know what? I can always remove some if I run out. Just make sure your hands are clean when you process. All your utensils are clean. Your jars are clean. Eat any scraps that fall. After you put your onions in your jar. Snack. Like I said, I didn't overcook my onions. They're just about to the soft stage. Alright, I'm gonna hopefully not be in the way too much. So I'm gonna go right up to the 1-inch headspace line. That actually looks like there's enough room to really put a baguette in there and then your cheese on top when you're ready to eat it. And again, please research your canning instructions as far as your altitude, your pressure weight. If you use a pressure, your weighted. I use a weighted gauge, not a weighted gauge. That's not that's not it. I use a weighted rocker on my pressure canner, so I don't mess around with the gauge. I have a glass top stove, and it's hard to actually regulate the heat on it. So the rocker I like the rocker, but you never know. I'd never had a chance to use a gauge, pressure gauge on a canner, so who knows? But they're expensive. So my water in my can are starting to boil a little bit, so I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. I don't want that boiling quite yet. 4 jars done. So I have solids in with my liquid. I am going to debubble. The liquid did go down just a tad on that one. So you just want to make sure all the bubbles are out. After you debubble, go and add more liquid if need be. Back up to that 1-inch line. Good eyeballing. Now I need a paper towel, bowl of vinegar, wipe your tops of your jars, your rims. Turn the paper towel every now and then for a clean spot. If you drop it in the liquid, get a new one. Four rims are clean. My washed lids in hot soapy water, dried. These are older lids. Hopefully I'll have good luck with them. Fingertip tight on the jars. Turn my heat back up on that pan, get that going. Finger tight. Hot. I had battery issues. Anyway, I'm back. The cans are now in the pressure cooker. Pressure cooker is getting up to the vent stage. It's starting to get steam coming out of the vent. Not quite steady enough for me, but another 15 or so seconds. Okay, we can start that timer for 10 minutes. And once the 10-minute vent time is up, we're going to put a good old Mr. Jiggles on there at 10 pounds per pressure. In my area, please check your area. Read your books. Get yourself familiar if you're new to canning, and have a ball. Like I said, I'm not going to record the whole session again. I already have a video up for my beef broth. You can go find that. I'll show you the jars when they come out of the canner. Focus, will you? Is that focus or is my eyes bad? Alright, so we're just about 10 minutes into this for a 60-minute processing time. This is little Mr. Jiggles. He's finally at a point to where I like him to be at. If I go any lower, let's see if I can get this. If I go any lower on my dial, if I go any lower on my dial, right now that's in between 3 and 4. If I go down to 3, that rocker will stop on me. So I'm happy with 3 and 4, between 3 and 4 setting. This stays rocking very gentle. I've done long processing before with this rocking just as it is. Never ran out of water, no problems whatsoever. Like I said, everybody's stove is different. You just need to find that sweet spot on your dial. See you in a while. Okay, so this is done for the 60 minutes. We'll shut that off. Turn the burner off. Do not take that off. Let it cool down on its own. That will stop rocking. I usually gently lift this up and slide it over off the burner because it's a glass top. I haven't scratched it yet, but now we're just going to let this come to off of pressure on its own. That's going to stop rocking. Do not take it off again, like I said. Wait until your lock goes down on its own. It's going to take about 35 to 40 minutes, maybe a little longer. Just let it chill out for a while. Be back when it's all done. Alrighty. So, my lock is down. We're not under pressure anymore. We can take off our rocker. Put it back where you know where you can find it later. Now when you take off your lid, twist it counterclockwise and lift it. Slide it up in front of you a little bit and start tilting it back so you don't get all that steam on your face. Burn yourself. You can start taking these out. Ooh, hot stuff, hot stuff. Just gonna grab my towel. Some of the water off the top so we don't have no stains. So that regular mouth jar I took out first has one of those sure-tight lids on it. Brand new. We'll see how that one fares. So these look good. I'm just going to assume that they're going to taste good. I'm not going to crack them open until there's one of those nights where everybody's busy going places other than home for dinner and we need something quick to eat. These are nice to have on hand. They're also good to have, especially, you know, like I said in my other video, if the crap ever hits the fan, you lose power for a few days. As long as you have propane or a fireplace, camp stove, or anything like that, you have food for a couple of days. Doesn't hurt to be prepared for these things. Don't rely on the government to help you out. Yeah, I said it. Well, happy canning, and we'll see you again on the next video. Bye. Okay, so I lied. I'm back. Anyway, these look really good. I know the camera's not picking it up. I mean, it's kind of dark. Let me put my other overhead light on. Slide you over for a second. Plug that charger for a moment. Plug that in. Oh, we got one ping going already. Anyway, I will be back once these all cool. Hopefully tomorrow morning when I take the rings off, they'll all be sealed and no failures. Wish me luck. Alright, so this is the next day, and all my jars look like they all sealed. There is a little bit of fat on the top, but that's not going to hurt a thing. I did not skim this before I jarred it up, so as you see, there's not much fat in it at all. So, and they look pretty good. So always, you know, when you take your rings off, just make sure you lift up on that lid. Make sure it's a good seal. And these are good to go. Again, like I said, there's a little bit of fat on the top, not a lot at all. So you can, before you can this, cool your broth down before you make your soup or you can your broth. Cool it down, skim the little bit of fat that you do have, or you can just can it right away. You know, you can always skim off that little layer of fat before you cook your soup. Yep, all good seals. I did have one of the new Sure-Tight lids, and that did seal. So it's possible that I did have a bad seal on that last batch of canning I did. Who knows? Things happen. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. Please like, subscribe, and give me a good thumbs up. Thanks.